there's no reprieve. Zear the Pharaoh, rebel Zoid bear, will rip, bash, crush, smash, rend, and dare. On Zoidstar they all rise to fight. Planet trembles under Zoid might. Here's a renegade Zoids on the prowl. The blue Zoid shake its fierce steel growl. Now fears Zear the renegade bear. Do not fight him, don't even dare. Electron fangs now rip and tear. Cyber eyes glow with neon flare. But Zear will fight more than the blues. The renegade bear will not snooze until he tears red Zoids apart. With steel jaws he rends cyber hearts. No Zoid allies, he hunger for renegade cries. Soul Khan and Black Rhinos he'll fight. Sir Wolf and Spine Fin Zear will smite. Now fears Zear the renegade bear. Do not fight him, don't even dare. Electron fangs now rip and tear. Cyber eyes glow with neon flare. But Zear will not stop his rampage. Turn on the renegades with rage. Cyber done and drama done too. Zear bear Zoid brings the fight anew. Now fears Zear the renegade bear. Do not fight him, don't even dare. Electron fangs now rip and tear. Cyber eyes glow with neon flare. Steel core, mountain warrior in Zoid form, Helic Republic metal storm. Death storm marches ever near, ultimate Sandy Zoid fear. The Ultrasaurus falls to him. Chance for Helic victory slim. Their fighter cannot falter now. The Republic must win somehow. Push back the Empire at any cost. Our future hope must not be lost. With Cenebas crushed, Gylo's looms. Dark continent force brings the dooms. Gylo's empire invades in force. This new threat changes the war course. A new age dawns on planet Z. Cataclysm's gone but not free. Strongest Zoids extinct but not all. Pathfinder revived for the brawl. Pathfinder cannot falter now. The Republic must win somehow. Push back the Empire at any cost. Our future hope must not be lost. The mountains need Zoids to bring pain. Their fighter continues to fight. Maintain the hellic battle might. Their fighter cannot falter now. The Republic must win somehow. Push back the Empire at any cost.